Today, we have a super special guest, Tom Watts. We're going to talk about the 3 secret pillars to high performance they don't want you to know about. But before we get into that, let's get with our guest, Tom Watts, bro, high performance coach. How you feeling, man?
I'm very well, mate. Thank you for having me on. How are you?
100%, bro. I'm over here keeping the dream alive, you know? So you're launching an exciting new program that's targeting specifically high-profile, high-net-worth individuals, high performers that are not really optimizing their whole entire life, right? So how did that come about? And tell me more about that.
Yeah. So originally, I had my coaching business, which was Tom Watts Training, and after coaching many people and achieving unbelievable results, I started to kind of work with more high net worth people, like you mentioned, and like busy professionals that kind of were neglecting certain areas of their own kind of journey in life, which were holding back into reaching their potential.
Yeah.
So after working with them for months and months and months, like it just kind of clicked. Like there was something kind of missing. There was something more that I could offer to further develop their results, not just physically or visually, but also mentally. So with this framework that I created, it's the first pillar is physical optimization, because for me, when you're in a physical, like a solid physical shape and you're confident, every other kind of environment you go into, you just got that confidence. You walk into a room, your chest is held high. When you meet someone, you're not like kind of nervous. You're your true self.
Right.
And also with working on the physical optimization side, like you push through boundaries that you didn't think that you could, in the sense of, for example, completing your first half marathon or lifting heavier on squat or bench press you ever have. So that teaches self-discipline, and the fact that you can hold like kind of promises to yourself and you just be like, no, I'm doing this for me.
Yeah.
The second pillar is precision nutrition. And now nutrition is everything to everyone. Like that is what is going to get you to the result. But with busy professionals and high performers, that like nutrition is something that I think that they lack with the education and knowledge in how to implement that.
Yeah.
In the sense that we want to refrain from having any dips in energy throughout the day and relying on caffeine.
Right.
So it's not just, even though it is like nutrition, we focus on like the macros that fit in with their lifestyle, their like on the go nutrition, all these things.
Right.
We take all of that into account and then provide them with a plan and a structure and a framework that is easy to follow.
Let's go.
So with high performers and busy professionals in very high level like kind of jobs and careers, everything is so kind of specific and like sometimes complicated.
Yeah.
So within the High Performance Hub and myself, the easiest way to learn is to simplify. So I make sure everything is simple to follow, but the results are still there to be achieved.
Let's go. And then the third pillar is the like spiritual side, or like self-development, growth.
Yeah, so it's mindset and self-mastery.
Okay.
So I've been going through this kind of journey myself for the last 6 to 8 months, doing therapy. And the reason why I started was because I was at a ceiling. I was just like, couldn't break past it. I was just at a wall constantly. So we literally developed my self-confidence and my relationship with myself. And my therapist is an absolute magician, genuinely is. And he said, like, you can only grow as much as you grow. And that just like really nailed down into my reasoning in why I'm creating this redirection. Like, it's not just a rebrand, it's not just a shiny new object. It's got purpose. Like, what I'm aiming to do is build a community, build a movement of like-minded individuals that just want to excel in every area of their life.
Yeah.
Now, this is not business coaching.
Right.
This isn't me saying I'm going to make you an X amount of more money a month.
Right.
But it is going to transfer into business.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to lead by example in the office. Your colleagues are going to look up to you even more. You're going to lead by example for your family, your kids, and it's just going to bring more success in every facet of someone's journey in life.
Yeah, I love this, the verbiage, the self-mastery part, because that's like really so important and overlooked. Like, I'm reading this book, and I study this book is the book I've probably single-handedly studied the most, and it's called The Master Key System. And in it, it talks about a bunch, basically self-mastery. And it says that it's easier to control like a corporation or organization. I think he says it's easier to control a kingdom than it is to control yourself. And so it's like a lifelong journey to develop and master yourself. And I think when you fully actually master yourself, that probably takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And it's like usually the really stoic, like older gentlemen, you know, that are in their 70s that are actually closest to mastery. So I think it's a lifelong journey. And so how did you come across to adding that as the third pillar? Because like the fitness, obviously, right? And then diet, obviously. Yeah. And then how did you come across to know that like self-mastery, the spiritual development, the self-development aspect is that third pillar that really is going to unlock the high performance?
It all stems back for like before I started therapy, and then as I was consistent with doing therapy and seeing the growth, because it was just kind of like we're leaving so much on the table when we don't work on ourselves. We're just doing kind of not so much ticking a box, but we're just always looking for, like, for example, external validation.
Yeah.
When that comes from within, like I used to use dark energy, like just saying, call myself every name under the sun to motivate me to go on a run or to motivate me to get that last bit of content done or whatever.
Yeah.
Changing the way we speak with ourselves, and don't get me wrong, it's not an overnight thing. Like I said, I've been doing therapy for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
But when you consciously put it into kind of and action it and implement it,
yeah,
you start to feel less pressure and happier. Yeah. Because you actually enjoy the self-development side. And this isn't kind of a 6-week shred or a summer shred or anything like that. Anyone that does join the team knows that it's going to be a process. But at the end of that process, by using the 3 pillars, you're going to be able to leave the high performance hub with a complete life change, not just physically, visually, but also mentally. Yeah. And also with your health, that is going to, and again, like from like my old branding, Tom Watch Training, it's not just the people's lives that I was able to change, it was the lives that they changed by changing theirs. So then they set an example for their kids, their husbands, their wives, their friends, and then they're starting, without them knowing, they're actually inspiring their friends and family around them. And
that goes deep. That expands really, really, like a whole community, like you're saying.
Exactly.
And that's incredible, man. So like that self-development, self-mastery, I think, that's how I built my whole entire business, is like what you're saying. I think when I'm at a rock bottom or whatever, like peak and valley, like I know the controllable thing, like the first step is just going as harder in the gym, like just literally like going hard in the gym. And that creates the confidence and the magnetism that like attracts opportunity. And it's weird to like, it's like an untangible thing, like, but when you are keeping your promises to yourself, right? Like I'm going to wake up at 5 and I'm going to show up and I'm going to do it. And like one of my 90-day goals is just to go to the gym every day for 90 days, like no matter what. And I'm like 12 days deep and I'm like, dude, I'm freaking doing great, right? And it creates that confidence. And I think it is important to like, we all have the dark energy, and I don't think that it's like, it has its purpose. Like when I fight, the only demon I fight is at 5 a.m. when I like look at the clock and I'm just like, go back to sleep 15 minutes. But then I'm like, don't be a pussy, you fucking get up now, fucking go. And I'm like, ah. Yeah. And then I get up and I go, like, so it has its place. I don't think it's like, it should be totally, discounted. But
then on the other days, you'll wake up at 5 and be like, I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel this is good. I like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's, like I say, it's never going to be all sunshine and rainbows, but you don't want it to be either.
Yeah.
Because then when you push through those difficult days when you are tired and you've had poor sleep or whatever the cause is, when you get through those days, you're going to actually, those are the days where you see the most progress.
Yeah.
And then it makes the good days even better.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, every time you get up and do something that your subconscious is telling you not to do,
yeah,
you win.
Yeah.
You always win.
Yeah, and you want to program your subconscious to be like on your side, and like with enough practice, like, and with enough discipline, the subconscious just gets reprogrammed and it redoes the thing. And so like I'm huge on like power. Like I think power is misunderstood, but it, like you said, it all comes from the internal. Like if you validate yourself, if you meditate and you understand like all the resources, all the energy, everything that the world without has to give starts with the cause, and we are the cause. So the thoughts we have are the creations that cause the effects. So if we know that we're the cause and we can meditate, create that internal validation, and just radiate our confidence, our energy, our magnetism, our power, then wherever we go in the world, that there's an essence to you where people don't know what it is, and they're just drawn to you, and it magnetizes and it creates opportunity, it creates influence. And what you're saying, it like goes down, and I am able to impact people like that I just run into, right? Like at the store, I'm like, oh, you look great. Like you're sharing your sunshine or your positive energy, and it just radiates across the world. And you don't know who you're impacting or who you're changing, but I think that your 3 pillars is a good way, if someone is not experiencing that reality, to get plugged into that program and then experience those type of that type of reality.
Yeah, because if someone just came to me and was like, oh, I would just want to get fit, I'd just be like, right, sweet. But if we just focus on those metrics, we're leaving so much on the table.
Right.
It's about like, right, how are you feeling? How's your relationships? How's your emotional intelligence? How's your emotional balance? How's all of that encompassing into you?
Right.
And one thing that I've really developed for me individually is my like emotional control, because when I'm like kind of stressed and, you know, with the day to day, and you're just on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I struggle to be present where my feet are. So whether I'm with my wife or my parents or whoever, I'm just like thinking about the next task.
Right.
And this is something that me and my therapist worked on. It's just like, right, next time you're in that situation, give them the time.
Yeah.
And in a way, like, stop being so selfish.
Yeah.
And he was asking me like what I thought masculinity was. And it was like, oh, this bravado, like, I'm the biggest in the gym and all that. He goes, no, it's about having patience and giving time for other people. And he was like, the true trait of masculinity is being able to leave a room in a better place than you found it. So as soon as I heard that, I literally finished my session with him, and I went into the kitchen, and I'm sure my mum's not the only one, but she loves telling a story that could last 5 seconds and it'll go into 5 minutes.
5 hours.
And I'm just there like just nodding like I've never heard this before.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I implemented instantly what he said, and it gave me so much kind of reward. It made me so happy because my mum felt listened to. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. There is some times when I'll be like, Mum, I've heard this 10 times. And I'm just like, I need to get off. Like,
yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
But having that control in that situation, instead of being like, Mum, I've got to go back to work, it's just be like, no, give them the time. Yeah. Because then you go back to work and be like, do you know what? I've made someone else feel kind of listened to, heard, and understood. Yeah. And that really helps with kind of, again, it does help being a coach, because you have to have communication skills. Right. You have to connect with people from different areas, different countries, different cultures, all those things. Yeah. And get the best out of those people. Yeah. And without taking the time to listen to them, understand them, and then create like a framework that's right for them. Yeah. You're gonna fall short, and people aren't gonna get the results that they deserve to get. Yeah, and you know what's crazy is there's a book called Never Split the Difference. It's this FBI negotiator guy who like teaches like sales tactics that basically he learned through FBI negotiating. And like when an FBI negotiating team is listening to somebody in some sort of hostile situation, they have 5 different listeners for different things. So it's like important. That's like crazy. Yeah, when you're listening to someone, it's really a real talent to like fully listen, fully embrace, and take in as much as you can from them, and not have like an agenda, right? Because like typically when someone's talking and you're not as mindful or present, you're just waiting for the next thing you're gonna say. Like, I'm about to say this, like, you know, and so you're not really listening. You're like already tuned it out, and you're just ready to say what you're gonna say. Yeah. And so, you don't have children yet, yeah? No, not yet.
But I have a 3-year-old. I'm 34, so I think I was like 30, 31 when I had her. And well, I didn't have her. My wife had her. But that changed my entire life to to like really set everything else aside. And so when I get home from work, I just like put my phone down, and it's just like all her, and it's like so fun and rewarding to like just get wrapped up in her world.
How did you get, like, not like how did you get to that by having a baby? Like, we know how that happened. But like because this is something that, because obviously we both love what we do.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me, and when you work for yourself, like, business doesn't stop.
Right.
I think some people think that when you work for yourself, it's like, oh, you've got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
You actually have less time,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah.
how do you then leave work and then just put all your, was it like you had to learn to develop that?
Yeah.
It wasn't just
was definitely a skill, dude. Like, I'll share with you, I'll try to keep it as short as possible. But like, so Pathfinder, the media company, was like the only thing, and it's been like the main thing since 2016. But it was just me and my wife at first, and it wasn't like an organization. It was just like us doing the thing. And when we had the girl, she was like, I don't know what you're going to do. I can't keep working with you, like, you know, doing all the back end, helping with edits, whatever, just client proposals, all that stuff. Like half of the business, literally. And so she stopped, and I was like, oh shit, like I actually can't do this. Like, I thought I was like, I could just do it, but I didn't have the skills like that she has, like the admin, the like organizations, like I just didn't have it. So I had to hire like our first like kind of real employee, and our first just the beginning of the staff. It was like an editor and then like an admin person. And like admin person now is like our chief of operations, basically. She runs Pathfinder almost entirely. And so I had to learn to delegate. I had to learn to like really hire and bring it on. And that was like a limiting belief I had to overcome, because I was like, I don't want to like give away the profit. Like, you know, I don't want to like lose money on this. But then I like, as soon as I did it, dude, the business like more than 10x. It was incredible. Like, then we, you know, started adding on people, more editors, more videographers, so on and so forth. And then like recently, like the past maybe year and a half or so, it just makes your time way more valuable. Like I look at it, like even when I'm doing a really, really important meeting, like I just closed a deal this week that's like over $100,000 like value. And
Congrats.
In that moment, I still would rather be hanging out with my daughter. Like, I still would rather be spending time with her. And so it made my time so much more valuable, to where I just think that. I'm like, dude, I don't want to take time to do any of this other stuff, because I'd rather be playing like tea time with her. Like, you know what I mean? So that gave me more leverage with my time. So like now I know like the demand is there for me. And I think it takes time, right? Like if you're building your business, I'm not saying like just be like, oh, Hollywood, like, oh, I have demand, like, and not take care of the people. But like, I think before that, it made me feel important to have like 1,000 texts all the time. And then now I'm like, okay, there is 1,000 texts coming through, but like run it through the proper channels of like, you know, filtration before it ever gets to me. And so now I try to work from like 10 to 3. And then I know that like, no matter what, even if this place set on fire, like, it's going to be fine. Like, I'll deal with it Monday morning, you know, and I'll spend the weekend with them, and it'll all be all right. Like, you know, so that's kind of my thing, is like, it'll all be all right. Set up the proper systems to still give the client like the highest experience possible. And then, so I guess that was like it's kind of scattered, but like first it was like learn to delegate, and then build systems in place to still give the client the highest level of experience, and then trust the systems and remove myself. So I try to work only 10 to 3, and then anything in between, I know that whatever, if there's a fire, I'll just deal with it when I deal with it. Like, it's not gonna, like, literally no one's gonna die, right?
yeah, literally. But no, I was kind of in a similar position, and this is kind of why I've taken my name away from the business, because it's more than just my name. It's more than just me. And there is so much room for growth. There was with Tom Watch Training, but even more with the High Performance Hub. And that's what I want to create. Like, I want to get more people within the business to develop the experience for the team. And that with developing the experience in the service, it's going to develop their results.
100%.
And it's going to develop the lessons that they can take with them.
And it's always value, right? Like
Yeah.
you always have to still make sure that the client has the best experience. Like
Priority.
way before like I'm in the video industry or media company, and I see like these other like video coaches or like just like posting their thing like this is your $5,000 package, comment the word whatever, and I'll send it to you. But then in the comments or whatever, like in his caption, it'll show what it is, and it's like 10 videos, one shoot every 3 months, like whatever, right? And to me, I'm like, dude, our clients pay that, but they get so much more value. Like it's not about like grabbing the money and like maximizing profits, and obviously that's part of business, and you want to maximize profits, and you want to do everything and that consists of, but it's the client experience. Like you need to give them the most value, like so much value that they just are so grateful. They experience such a change, and they love you and stick with you forever. And so my model is reoccurring for as long as possible, right? And so I've had clients for 2-3 years, and it's because of that. Like we want to make sure that they're taken care of, and the money will come. It always comes, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I completely agree with that. Like I'm not financially driven in the sense, well, obviously we all are to some extent, but there's many coaches out there that do like $5 a month for a training program, but then they sell it to millions of people.
Right.
And for me, that's just like, well, it's not individualized, it's not tailored, and you're not creating a relationship with the client.
Yeah.
And like you said, like you've had people with you for 2-3 years, and it's the same with me, because with the clients that you have, me.
They're the same, yeah.
Yeah, you build the relationship, you build this trust, where it's like, it's a friendship, but like I think I said on the podcast I was here the other week, it's results driven.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to deliver the best value, the best lessons, the best kind of substance to your client. They see the results from it.
Right.
But they also see the results from having you in their life.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that. Like, customers like satisfaction is key, and the client should with anyone should always be number one.
Yeah.
Always be number one.
And results, our business is very similar because we do a lot of marketing campaigns. So it's like you could track the results, and so we want to track results and show the sales, and you like the development, the improvement in their physique, or their just overall well-being. So when you could do that and really take them through a journey of like change or transformation or results in any way, right? Like, so for us, it's very similar. Like it's the same clientele, so it's the same avatar, and we take them through a journey of development because so people think they want more sales or marketing, right? And it's like, okay, cool, this is what it takes. So then we'll set up the ad and the marketing, and they come through, and then all of a sudden there's traffic. There's just like deals or leads. Yeah. But if they don't have the right system or the sales training in place, then like that's wasted money. So then we have to go in and train their like people on like the sales or the process, and give them sometimes technology, like literally even like the CRM, the automations, the exact system that's going to convert to sales. Because if they don't have the whole framework, which is similar, the 3-pillar framework, you're not going to get the results. And then with other marketing companies or whatever, it's like, they'll sell just like a discounted, same thing, like they'll just sell you a fitness like program and your body changes, but you're not healthy and it's not sustainable. And so same with us, it's like we will sell the traffic and the leads, but if we don't have the back end to like really optimize it, then it's not going to create the result. And then it's like, oh, this is a terrible marketing company, right? Or this was a terrible coach. He didn't like, so it's like you need to take those precautions, or not precautions, but the proper methods, steps, implementations to create those long, like you said, like a life-changing result, sustainable like change in order to create that magnetism. And I think that's the most valuable thing that you offer is like the mastery, like the magnetism, like the results of someone transforming their life like that it goes beyond just like you said, like a lean physique or anything. Yeah. It's the magnetism, it's the enthusiasm, it's the inspiration that transmutes across anyone that ever sees them.
Yeah, it's genuinely like emotional. Like when you're able to help someone, obviously in both of our fields, we can't do the work for the people. We can help them do as much and push them in the right kind of direction and be like, okay, we'll just change this slightly and change this, alter this to make sure that it's still moving forward.
Right.
But when you can sit back and see someone grow, see success, there's no better feeling.
Yeah.
There is no better feeling. But I think it always refers back to, in whatever line of work you do, you have to be a good coach. You have to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
Without being good at what you do, you can have all the fancy content, you can have all the terminology in the world, but if you don't know how to coach, or you don't know, like they say, the mastery of what you're kind of either selling, coaching, teaching, then if you're a good marketer, if you're a coach, you will make money, but then you're in it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. Yeah.
One, like, I think with your new branding and your new shift, the reason, at least like for me, why I target the avatar that, is the same basically client, is because these people are they want to do what it takes to get the results. It's not like, because I use this analogy when I sell. I don't really try not to sell to these people anymore, but it's like, look, if you imagine hiring a fitness coach and then you don't go to the gym, like, it's the same thing with us. Like, you could hire me as a marketing team or a content provider, but if you don't show up to film the content or like do your homework to do the content, then it's like you're not going to get the results. But that's a specific avatar that's under like a certain level that kind of wants it, but not bad enough, where these people want it. They have everything they need. They are used to doing what it takes to get these results. And so when they opt into something, they're all in. And someone that's all in is going to get a way better result.
Yeah. And again, with our like kind of avatar, our niche, they've had to put so much time, effort, discipline, blood, sweat, tears to get to where they are. Mm-hmm. But now they're looking for other avenues on, for example, they might have neglected their health.
Right.
But now with going into 2025 and content is just going through the roof, and that's obviously social media's the biggest marketer now.
Yeah.
So they're leaving a huge gap of potential if they're not optimizing that.
Yeah.
So it's
the same. Yeah,
very, very similar.
Yeah, it's the same, literally the same avatar, just a different product. But again, like, you need to bring the results, like, and create what they desire, like, to really like be successful at it.
Because if you were pitching to a CEO about a marketing campaign, you would pitch the results that you've achieved with previous campaigns. Yeah. So if you don't have the results behind what you're pitching, and like, for example, if I was coming into, if I just created my coaching business initially and it was the High Performance Hub, it wouldn't feel right, so I wouldn't have done it. Yeah. Because I wouldn't have had the education, the knowledge that I do have now. Right. And spending thousands of pounds on mentorships, education, outsourcing, like everything to make me the best coach I can possibly be.
100%.
And even it's like you said, like delegating. Like like I delegated to my therapist. I was like, I need help. Yeah. Then I delegated to my mentorship, which has made me into a better coach, a better businessman, a better person. Yeah. So combining all that and surrounding yourself with other unbelievable coaches and other people in that field where you're bouncing ideas off. You should be like, right, okay, why didn't that work? Have you guys tried this before? Yeah. Or whether it be a new system, whether it be a new kind of nutrition aspect or whatever it is. And I think the more that you like put heads together in the right fields, even if it's completely different industries, you're always going to learn. And for me, education is everything. The more you learn, the more kind of successful you'll be, not just financially, but like we say, like the self-mastery thing and all those, and it just comes, everything just genuinely falls back on the three pillars, and that's why I'm aiming to just execute all them with each individual's journey.
Yeah, I love it, bro, and I love what you have going on, and you're doing really good, and I'm proud of you for being brave, of being on camera. I know this is like a very uncomfortable thing, but like that shows like when you're coaching people that you're telling them, like, I know it's uncomfortable. Like, I'm doing it too. Like, I'm doing uncomfortable things in my life to help to do that growth.
Mate, I remember my first mentorship, he was like, right, you need to start posting reels, like you talking. Oh, mate. I was like, no, I can't. I was like, I'm just going to go on Canva and put a random picture up. It took me, for a 45-second reel, no joke, this was when I first started, like 4.5 years ago. It took me 2 hours to film a 45-second reel and then 3 hours to edit it. And
it's a skill.
So that's what I mean. You just got to, it is cliche, but you genuinely have to put the reps in.
Yeah, it is, dude. I mean, I've been dancing around in front of a camera since like 2013. So like, you know,
that's why you're so good at it.
It's terrible. And then, like when I look at my old stuff, it's so bad. But like I had some delusion. I was young, you know, I was like 21, 22, 23, like, bro, I'm doing great. Like, you know, I'm fucking killing it. And I look back at it, it's so bad. It's so cringy. I literally, when I show people, I like well up with tears, like, because I'm so embarrassed.
But that's, again, the other thing I'm working on is like, my therapist was like, you're enough. Just people like you. Just be your authentic self.
100%.
And I think that's why I get along with like the people that I do coach and the people that I am kind of pushing to coach now, is because in their daily lives, it's always kind of suits and ties, boardrooms, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's very stiff. So when they jump on a call with me, mate,
yeah,
barriers are broken down within 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, right, well, no, we're still professional, but we're going to see this as mates.
Yeah.
And we're going to see this as a solid relationship that you don't have to think of what you say before you say it.
Yeah.
It's just like, get it out, brain dump, word vomit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because the more that they give me, the more I can give back.
Yeah.
And I'm always the one to be vulnerable first, about opening up about everything.
Yeah.
So I used to hold back in that department. I used to be like, oh, how's that going to be perceived? How's that going to... And now I'm at the point where I'm just like,
yeah,
F it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and that's the thing about, like, you're doing the 3 pillars, and so you're leading by example, and then that is what is, like, that's why you have the magnetism. That's why people can hop on a call and, like, you know, feel that energy from you and feel comfortable and share and give you the resources you need to make a change. And you're a coach, so, like, you have to, you know, really stay disciplined with all the pillars, right? Like, yeah. But me, like, I fell off over the holidays, man. Like, my fitness was just like I didn't go to the gym for like a month or whatever, and I was sleeping in. I was just like, it took me a long time from like November, like Thanksgiving break, to like just maybe like middle of January. I'm only 12 days straight. Like, you know, I'm barely back from that.
Better
like,
than nothing,
you know?
mate. It's better than nothing. Yeah.
So, and when you have to lead people, like, you still have to, like, I still have to show up at a high level for everyone, but it's like my own personal well-being that, like you're saying, that suffers. And I've noticed that, like, with coming back, that, like, I feel like the energy, and like people that I've met in that time frame or whatever that didn't know me as like the full version of myself, now are like, whoa, this guy's fucking, what's this guy doing? Like, you know, so it's
100%.
so I, as like part similar as the avatars, like, I have my ups and downs, and I try like to do my best. But that's why it's important to hire a coach to like be there with you and hold you accountable and, like, you know, keep you on the track, because we all need someone to lean on sometimes.
Yeah, big time. And like, I've got a coach myself for like kind of fitness and physique training, because I don't care who you are or what you do, accountability is a superpower. Mm-hmm. And yes, being a coach, I know what to do, I know what to eat, I know how to train.
Right.
But it's having that thinking taken out of the equation, so then I can put all my focus on my team and get them the results whilst that job's being done. So again, it's delegating to make sure that we can push success for everyone else. And one thing I say to everyone on like calls before they join the team, and that I'm like, your goal is now our goal. Yeah. So fitness journeys and journeys in general can feel quite lonely. So I want to literally rewrite that. Yeah. They're part of a community, they're part of a team, they've got me in their back pocket 24/7. Yeah. And the thing that, not like that sets me apart, but without me being so ingrained and engrossed with their kind of journeys, obviously we go back to the relationship and trust, but I do a lot of kind of half marathons, 10Ks and fitness events with my clients.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because I want to, and it's not for the content, it's not for the engagement. It's because we're training them to achieve something either like a personal best or something they've never done before.
Yeah.
And I've obviously given them the plans in place to achieve that. But then when I'm there with them on race day, for me, that's an unbelievable feeling.
Yeah.
Like I've said it a few times, like I aspire and will always want to be the coach that I've always wanted to be for myself. And just having that support. Like when things aren't going great, there's like you say, when the peaks and the valleys and stuff, there's always lessons to be learned with each of those. So when things are going great, sweet, why? When things aren't going great, there's even more lessons to learn. And be like, right, so how are you speaking to yourself?
Yeah.
What we're eating? How we sleep? There's more lessons to make those kind of valleys not as deep.
Yeah.
But then if they are as deep, you've already been there.
Yeah.
And you've got the emotional control and balance and education to be like, okay, sweet. So this is how I dealt with it last time and it made me feel like X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
This time I'm going to deal with it like this.
Yeah.
And it might not be any better, but we should be like, right, these two, like trial and error, these two avenues didn't work.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Yeah.
So we always find a way that works.
Yeah, and I think when you're on point with your like the 3 pillars in like peaks and valleys in business, like you're able to stay level-headed, like, you know, or like stay, like have your foundation. And what's incredible about like, and then this is like maybe a way deeper like spiritual principle, but like when you are even or when you're like at a well-being, then everything ends up working out. Like, you know, everything really just, you create opportunity around it regardless of like, you know, what's happening, like whether it's fires, whether like whatever the case is, it ends up just being like when you're in a even mental state and healthy and happy, you know, your business could be on fire and you're like, it's all right, it'll work out, like, you know, and versus like when you're not and like something like that happens, which is inevitable in business, like you know, you're gonna lose your shit. You're like, oh bro, it's the end of the world, you know, and affects your personal relationships, you know, you don't want to play with your family, whatever, like, you know. So it's important to make sure that you stay on the like self-mastery, and like when the highs are high too, to like stay on the like the stoic even path and like maintain.
It's always celebrate the wins, but don't, like for me it's like the bad days don't last and neither do the good days. Yeah. But that's what makes the good days even better, because there's just I know it's quite probably demotivating, but there's a bad day waiting to happen. Yeah. But then on the other side, there's also a really good day waiting to happen. And like you say, like staying on an even playing field kind of thing, like with the mental side, in my opinion, it all comes down to just developing emotional intelligence in the relationship with yourself. So when things are going great, it's like, sweet, let's not get complacent. Yeah. Let's stay humble and let's keep pushing forwards. Yeah. And then when things aren't going great, you should be like, okay, sweet, take a deep breath. Why aren't they going great? What's happened? Is it actually facts? Does the data show it? Yeah. Or is it just my mental kind of framework and how I'm perceiving this? Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting and it's extremely rewarding. Yeah. I mean, like biggest takeaways right now from this book I'm studying, it's like discern fact from opinion. So like most of what people think are facts are just opinions. They're not necessarily facts. So like you just said, it's like discern, is this like a fact or is it an opinion? And then also the, I don't remember what it was, but I don't know, some level of self-mastery. Oh, cause and effect. Say your thoughts are causing the effect for the most part. Like, you know, people try to change effects with other effects. Like, for example, if someone was like, oh, I'm eating terrible, and then they're like, all right, well, I'm just going to change what's in my fridge. But did you change what, like, is the mental thing behind it that's causing, like, the crave? So you have to change the cause, and, like, the deepest form of cause is a thought, because everything that's in the material world was started as a thought. Like, someone had an idea to make a chair, and then they made a chair. Like, you know, so, so discerning facts from opinions, and then cause and effect are, like, really... There's just like the sequence, like I think it's like thoughts, behaviors, actions. So we all have that thought and then it creates that behavior. And then the final one is where people tend to neglect. Like if you choose to action on it and then compound that, then it will start to become a habit, whether it be eating more protein for breakfast or drinking more water, whatever it is. Right. It's just compounding those healthy habits and like stacking them up So then this creates your new standard, your new normal. Because when people talk about the subconscious and all this stuff, it's basically humans, I think, are made to feel a state of comfort. Like we want to be warm, we want to be cozy, we want to be fed, we want to be sheltered.
Right.
So when we break out of those norms and be like, right, we're going to push yourself, you're going to train for a marathon, or we're going to be in a calorie deficit because we've got a photo shoot coming up.
Yeah.
We're trying to be comfortable in a state of being uncomfortable. So then it comes back to like no, this is right. So we're going to have the thought of, right, we're going to get in the best shape possible, we're going to get a PB. Then the behavior will be like, right, we need to change. So that's where I make everyone kind of think about adopting an athlete mindset. Start to think, breathe, train, sleep, talk, and just adopt this persona of being someone not higher than yourself, but someone that you aspire to be, because you will be there.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it all starts with the mental.
Let's freaking go, dude. Dang it. I had a thought that you inspired, but I can't remember it now. I was paying attention to too deep.
Well, he was saying just like listening and not thinking about the next thing.
Yeah, freaking. Dang, I can't remember. Something along the lines of. I don't remember. It's gone.
No, a book that I recommend is, I can't remember the author, but it's called The Mountain Is You. And I think there was an analogy in there. It should be like, what would be kind of more rewarding if you just got kind of, let's say, a lift or an elevator to the top of the mountain, or you struggled and had to stop all the way up. Even though the view's the same, the feeling is completely different. So it's about pushing through, even when it's hard, because the reward is there waiting for you. So even when like you slip, you cut your knee or whatever, and it's easy just to let's call it a day. It's like, no, because at the top, that's what's coming.
Let's go.
And then it's not like when you're at the top, you've completed it, there's that next mountain. But because what you've just been through is going to give you the discipline, the motivation, and the drive to keep pushing on.
Yeah. I freaking love it. Dude, I kind of remembered you said humans are designed to feel comfortable. And I think it's true. But like every time you're saying, you push yourself outside of your comfort zone or face some level of adversity, sometimes it's not like by choice, you just are facing adversity. When there's like a dynamic change like that, typically, and if you face it and go through it, you're way better off on the other side. And so if you looked at a chart without like any emotion attached to it, and you just saw like these like red dots, and every time there was a red dot, like the chart spiked up, and there were just like different points of red dots, and you didn't have an emotional connection to it, you'd be like, what are these red dots? We need to have fucking more of them. Like, we need more red dots. But those red dots are like adversity, catastrophes, challenges that you face that make you so uncomfortable that you have to get through them. And then on the other side, it's always like way better.
100%. And like me doing this stuff, and like I said about me filming my first ever reel, that literally I was sweating that hard that I just literally had to literally be naked by the time I posted it. I was that hot. But pushing yourself outside your comfort zone isn't going from not being able to run to do a half marathon or a full marathon.
Yeah.
It's just doing the little things consistently.
Yeah.
And it's whatever that is, like you don't like water, sweet. So there's other ways that we can get your hydration levels up. And just like, we're just going to push your comfort zone a little bit and a little bit, but every single time that you push through it and then you maintain that level, it's not about like you going on one run then never doing it again.
Yeah.
But it's having the systems in place to make sure that that step outside the comfort zone is strategic and it's right for you. And that's where obviously you know the individual. Like if you gave me a marketing campaign that was far above where I am currently, it would just be too much of a jump, and I'd probably pull back 10 times harder than I would want it to push.
I see, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's important, right, to meet people where they're at. Well, dude, Tom Watts, what an incredible conversation. Where can the people find you?
Instagram. So it will be my name and then the High Performance Hub.
Let's freaking go. Tune in, guys. Follow Tom. And if you are in the market for high performance coaching, make sure that you click through, send him a message so that you could feel this amazing energy that radiates from within. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, mate.
Let's go.
Mate, that was sick.